episode 2 of The Fresh Elephant. If you haven't yet caught up on our whole season, stop this video and turn back immediately because there are some major spoilers coming your way. The yarns I weave are far too complex to try to watch these episodes out of order.
It's a lie! It's not real!
Yeah, I lied. I just want more views on episode 1. The views I did get on episode 1 sparked mixed reviews, the most provocative of which was this. My father, teaching about the rule of law, showed one of his high school classes my video. Of course, making sure to distance himself from my own declarative partisanship because, as we all know, public school teachers, upon receiving their licenses, swear a solemn oath against any sort of bias or attempted indoctrination of the malleable minds of America's youth.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
I have been grossly misinformed. Because my father did not reveal to his students that I was his daughter prior to showing them the video, he was able to garner completely honest responses. Apparently, I'm a huge B-word. Oh, look, I got over it. And also, one student said I seemed like I would be hard to be married to. Well, joke's on you, high schooler, because I don't even have a husband. Wait. But that sort of response did get me thinking that maybe I've taken the wrong approach. Maybe this sort of political crassness is only acceptable when it comes from the likes of Jon Stewart or Stephen Colbert or the occasionally feisty Sean Hannity.
What's wrong with her? She's a woman, isn't she?
I would hate to alienate anyone with my lack of femininity or for that to get in the way of my message. So for this episode, I've opted for a change of scenery and will be broadcasting from the only place that I and all women rightfully belong.
Get back in the kitchen!
I actually really do like baking cookies. This particular act of sarcasm may prove counteractive. Today, we're going to find out whether it's feministically possible to fulfill one's wifely duties and have an opinion at the same time.
Give me a chicken sandwich and some waffle fries.
Place your bets. But who better to center this discussion around than a woman who exemplifies nothing short of the ultimate picture of feminism?
Bazinga!
In late September, talk of the Benghazi controversy was all over the place. By all over the place, I mean Fox News talked about it. Republicans were hoping to make it a big enough scandal to sabotage Obama's re-election. Fail. But as it turns out, most people don't actually pay attention to anything.
Bueller?
Butter, 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 cup of butter.
Even after the election passed and the left could no longer reasonably claim that we were motivated strictly by political underhandedness in our quest for, of all forbidden things, truth, there were still a few tenacious Republicans who refused to let the issue die, and I applaud them. But then the Petraeus scandal hit.
Wasn't me. She saw the marks on my shoulder. Wasn't me. Heard the words that I told her. Wasn't me.
And then Hillary kept getting blood clots and concussions and herpes.
Boner shrinker.
But then we finally got to ask some questions. To bring you up to speed, here's an abridged version of the whole story. 4 Americans, including Ambassador Chris Stevens, were killed in an attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi, Libya on September 11, 2012. 2 weeks later, Ambassador Susan Rice went around the news circuit and told everyone that, according to the latest intelligence, the attack was the result of an out-of-control protest over an anti-Muslim film.
Durka, Muhammad Jihad.
Different one. Shortly thereafter, it turned out that what happened was actually a premeditated terrorist attack. Shocking, because it was on September 11th. And more importantly, the administration knew that it was a terrorist attack long before they sent Susan Rice out to say anything. They knew pretty much immediately what was up.
No, now we'll never be together!
So since September, we've all been asking, so are you incompetent or are you liars? They don't seem to like that question very much. Hillary Clinton sat before a Senate review board on January 23rd and did her best to save face after a pretty atrocious cover-up. At first, she was super awesome at deflecting all the tough questions. She was all like, "Step out! Step out! Step out!" But then things went downhill. The highlight of the event was when Senator Ron Johnson pushed Hillary to her breaking point by asking a series of questions directed at the incompetence versus dishonesty debate. And when Hillary was like,
"What difference at this point does it make?"
I was like, because I know the answer. There's a pretty big, pretty obvious difference. I understand what Hillary was trying to say. There are 4 dead American heroes, and it doesn't matter if they were killed by scheming terrorists or by out-of-control protesters. It's a tragedy no matter what. But the difference we're looking for is whether or not this administration and this State Department deliberately deceived the American people. We're not harping about the tragedy, we're harping about the travesty. I'm not gonna do that. And you can call it politically motivated, and you can try to sweep it under the rug and pretend it's no big deal. I, for one, still think this is worth pursuing. And I don't think we should let anyone be Teflon when it comes to Benghazi. Woman joke. That's it for episode 2. These cookies are freaking gorgeous. 10 wife points for Kelly. Suck it, high schooler. That does taste awfully opinionated. As for our episode 1 caption contest, the winner is nobody. I got exactly 1 entry, guys. And though I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to awarding victory to one uncontested participant, to announce this particular caption would require me to imagine Joe Biden using a sexy voice, and that made me monumentally uncomfortable. So maybe we'll try our hand at audience participation again sometime in the future. You guys clearly can't handle it yet. I would, however, like to leave you all with a bit of a challenge. I've been using this new rule of thumb to help myself avoid hypocrisy, and it is proving pretty effective thus far. Whenever I'm watching the news and I feel that rage has begun to boil in my soul, I ask myself, how would I react if a member of the opposite party said or did the exact same thing? So like if Obama does something that everybody seems to be okay with,
these strikes are legal. They are ethical and they are wise.
I try to think, how would everyone feel if this were Bush?
I'll do what's necessary to protect America within the law. That's what you got to understand.
I encourage all of you to begin employing this tactic over the next week, because I'm going to be using the crap out of it in the next episode.
Just to be the next to be with you.
The president and the first lady are kind of like the mom and the dad of the country. And when your dad says something, you listen.
This gives a whole new meaning to the term daddy issues.
It's the end of the world as we know it.